Hey, how you guys doing? Oh, I know you can do better than that. How you doing, moms? Woo, woo. All right, thank you for coming today. We have to get this country back on track, amen? And I just want to tell you off the bat, just because Hollywood is dishing out a lot of graphic, vulgar, sex-saturated business does not mean we have to take it. We are the rulers and owners of our home. God put us in charge to raise our children, so we can just tell Hollywood, hey, we don't want to buy, and guess what? When we don't buy, they don't supply. I went from a dairy farm in Wisconsin, grew up there as a kid, 20 years, milking cows, baling hay, picking rocks, all that jazz, and then gave my dad a heart attack at the age of 20 because I told him, hey, guess what, Dad? I'm going to transfer from University of Wisconsin Green Bay and go to Cal State Los Angeles and get a film and TV broadcasting degree, which I did, and then I'm going to witness to celebrities. He's like, witness? Yes, I'm going to get them saved so we can get better content on TV. He's like, you got to be kidding me. That's what I did. That was 20 years ago when pop culture wasn't near as bad as it is today. I love doing the research on what I see in film and TV, apps, all of it, because so many moms keep telling me, Tina, I'm fried, frustrated, I have 50 websites to choose from, which ones are giving me accurate information, how do I set the safety parameters on my phone? I do it all. They basically have told me over the years, just tell me what to do and I'll do it for the sake of time. So it has been my privilege over the last 2 decades to be doing this. Absolutely love it. Here's a short little intro video of what I had a chance to work on while living and working in Hollywood. So all to say, I've been immersed in pop culture for about a decade, worked with a lot of celebrities while on set, loved what I learned. God opened my eyes, all for the fact that I became basically an undercover FBI agent for God. I went from the Miss America pageant to then saying I have to do something to, at that time I wasn't married, to help teens realize what they're seeing in pop culture is not reality. The celebrities I met, like Ray Liotta, driving him around as his personal driver for the Oscars. I've met Gina Davis. I was the first set I had a chance to work on was 90210 or Melrose Place. So many TV shows, tons of Disney shows like Zack and Cody, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Drake and Josh. It showed me that so many celebrities were sheltering their own kids from their own entertainment. And I also realized that pop culture was glamorizing premarital sex, drugs, alcohol, all of it, without showing the consequences. I had enough classmates die in my high school in the years that I was there. I had enough young girls that had gotten pregnant, and I'm like, wait a second, we have all these rappers, singers, and celebrities promoting premarital sex, but they're not in a prison to help these young girls out when they get locked behind bars for doing a crime, or young men out when they're selling drugs because that's what they're taught. If teachers in schools aren't telling our kids this message, and most parents that I know are not telling their sons to be a drug dealer, where are these kids getting this information from? The media, hands down. And today's media, a lot of it is actually illegal. They're breaking laws. It's just that Hollywood is not being upheld by the laws to have to pay the price. This stuff marketed toward 18 and under kids is illegal, a lot of it, which I'll explain in a little bit. So why are our kids questioning their gender today in kindergarten? Because they're taught in classes today in our schools around the country, what gender do you want to be today? What do you want to dress up as? You look at the top different articles that are coming out in the news today, I'm like, what is going on in the last just 3 years alone? What planet am I living on? What are we learning today? Well, this young man here with that satanic book for children posted on my Facebook wall. My Facebook page is Counterculture Mom. You have to chime in there, plug in right away, and connect with me there, because every day I'm blasting out what we should be aware of, and people get to post their stuff on there as well for all of us to network. This guy thought he was funny posting this to promote his satanic book for kids. I turned around, took a screenshot, put it back on my page and said, parents, be aware of what's going on. 41,000 hits and views on this. Also had over 150 shares. That was just last week when I decided to start using what people are trying to promote for the bad, for the good, to make people aware. I think we need to use social media for the good. We have satanic clubs cropping up all around the schools. I warned parents a year ago. Some people thought it was hilarious, never going to happen. Now today I'm getting pounded with emails saying it is happening. What do we do about it? Here's the point with satanic clubs. They are allowed to have their clubs on campus because of the laws that were passed back in the 80s. The thing with this, though, is that they are hoping schools will pull their God clubs so no clubs exist. I say keep the God clubs. The people going to the Satan clubs, at least we know who to target and invite to the God clubs. We have to keep God in our schools as long as possible, forever if I had that choice. Bring Bibles to class, wear the cross necklaces, Christian t-shirts. Kids are being told they can't express and have freedom of religion. We have that right. It's not freedom from religion, it's freedom of religion. And so it's important for people to be aware of that. And I send out tips every single day on what to do, so it's quick and simple. Teen Vogue magazine, what did they do back in January? They told girls, if you want to be a best friend to your friend, take them to an abortion clinic. Don't worry about telling your friend's parents. They'll take care of their problem in seconds. And then as a parting gift, get your kids some of these sex toys, or your friends some of these sex toys for them to have to get over the abortion and the grief they had to go through for those brief moments. That is what Teen Vogue article is currently has out there. And the last couple of months, it's just gotten worse. And then also we have Disney cartoons now promoting lesbianism on Doc McStuffins. My kids can no longer have that show. I have 4 kids, 8 and under. So a lot going on. Sesame Street promoting LGBT. I love Sesame Street the way it used to be. And then we have Public Library is holding all these different things with people dressing in drag and reading stories to our kids. So if we're wondering why kids are questioning gender and confused from the get-go, it's because they are asked every day, choose what you want to be, you can be whatever you want. And the way you are biologically created by our Lord and Savior is no longer even a foundational aspect, which means if we corrupt that, and Satan's attacking that now, everything else falls apart. And then the other issue with Facebook, kids are asked 51 different possible genders today on what they'd like to be when they're signing up for a Facebook profile. One, in fact, is called gender questioning. So if you wonder why kids are confused, that's what's going on. Major identity crisis on our hands. However, once again, if we teach them God's truth from Scripture and we know what truth is, my 8-year-old son Jake is constantly coming up to me throughout the week. Mom, I noticed this in pop culture. Mom, I saw this album in Walmart. Look at this cover. This is a satanic symbol. Yes, it is, Jake. You rock. Because he knows the truth and knows how to share with his friends on the playground today what's going on. That's what we need, is to raise counterculture warriors in our kids. So the time is short. God created man and woman. It's in Scripture, and I get a lot of people asking me questions, but if we point them back to the truth in a loving manner, but don't water down the truth, that's how we're going to grow the kingdom and save souls. Robert Pittman, this guy, I've been sharing his quote for the last decade and a half. Why? Because it's so powerful on how the media works. He owns everything in the air. Literally. iHeartRadio is one of the top places that people go to for concerts and listening to songs today. And MTV, he was a creator of MTV, where it all really started back in the 80s. He says, we're dealing with a culture of teenage babies. They can watch TV, do their homework, listen to music, all at the same time. The strongest appeal you can make is emotional. If you can get their emotions going, make them forget their logic, you've got them. At MTV, we don't shoot for the 14-year-olds, we own them. That was where it began 35 years ago, and look where it is today. He's still a major decision maker today. I see some people taking notes, and I'll explain to you in a minute, but there's a way you can get these notes, the top tips, for free. So you don't have to worry about taking notes. 50 Cent is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I was 16 years old, got done baling hay one night, was sitting down to watch the award shows on TV. We weren't allowed to watch a lot of TV. Here is 50 Cent holding up an award. I love my fans! If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. I love my fans! 50 Cent, thinking he was all that, winning an award. And I sat on my couch on the farm in Wisconsin thinking, wait a second. First of all, your music is degrading. You talk about murder and rape, threesomes, drug dealings, drive-bys. If you really loved your fans, you would not promote a message that could kill me. And when I was 16, a light bulb went off shortly after I was born again, and I told my family I'm moving to LA 4 years later. I was there to win celebrities like this for the Lord, to hopefully make a difference. amazing journey. I had to write about it, all to say because of him and the lies that he was saying from stage, I saw it, and I'm like, I got to make sure that my generation and the generations after me are not deceived by empty words from celebrities. It just has to end. Different shows I had a chance to work on: Malcolm in the Middle, Days of Our Lives, Lizzie McGuire, MacGyver. I love MacGyver. Do you guys remember the show called MacGyver back in the 80s, 90s? Paperclip, Ginny, whoop whoop, paperclip, gum, create a bomb and save 30 people. It's like the second that Monday night was over, I'm like, man, can it be Monday again? I want to see a second episode right after this one. Quality entertainment. Had a chance to work on Lizzie McGuire as Mrs. Cheese, coming from Wisconsin, go figure. But just a lot of experiences in LA for a decade. Austin Powers, I had a chance to work on that set, Rockstar. And then Dharma and Greg was a stand-in for Jenna Elfman. A lot of different shows throughout the course of my 10 years. The lie, once again, is consequences were not being revealed. Why do I do what I do? Because I have 4 young kids, and I want to create world changers in them, and I want the generation between them and myself to learn that they're being deceived by the enemy, and how can they use their talents and money and time to glorify God in the process. Satan wants to distract and deceive our young people today through all of the things right in front of their face, access in their cell phone within seconds, for example. I say use technology, use it to glorify God, and kids are starting to catch wind. And the second they see video clips off of my Counterculture Mom website, their eyes are open, because it's not just me saying it, it's celebrities, which you will see today, admitting they could care less about their fans, they're in it for the cash. And that they rewrite the lyrics for their own kids to listen to. That way, the battle's not against the parent and the kid. It's going to be the kid deciding, wait a second, my mom was right. I can't believe that poster on my wall, those guys actually could care less about me. Posters are coming down, CD smashing parties are happening, video game smashing parties are happening, people are erasing hundreds of songs on their iPod, on their iPhone. I've gotten so many emails to prove that once they see the truth, those are the things that happen as a result. Suicides that don't take place. One kid in a school I recently spoke at took a knife that they had in school, set it down on the counselor's desk and said, I won't read this anymore. Because they actually saw the lies through entertainment that they believed and realized these people are hypocritical. They need prayer, but let's not support them with their time and cash. So those are my 4 little munchkins, and I want to protect them and grow little world changers out of them. What are we going to learn about today? I have to kind of walk over here because I can't see off my projector, but basically, can you guys still hear me? What harmful behaviors is today's pop culture and media pumping out to our kids? What top resources give solid reviews on today's entertainment? What are the positive entertainment choices available? And how can I stay updated with pop culture, because it's constantly changing? I'm going to be going through those 4 top tips for you guys today. Don't worry about taking notes. If you text the word pop culture, no spaces, to 44222 right now, you are going to get a guide, a free guide that has tons of resources in it, even a PureFlix free month rental, Covenant Eyes, and also information on cutting, suicide, a bunch of helpful tips, how to keep in touch with me, sign up for my pop culture alerts, all of it through email. You're also going to get my weekly newsletter, amazing tips that come out once a week. Short, concise, within 5 minutes you can click on what you want to read that'll work for you. So pop culture, no spaces, to 44222. I want to have an advisory warning, which I won't really need because the kids left, so that's probably a good thing, because there's some stuff in here that will shock you. Content that you probably don't know literally exists, but the teens do and the little kids do. Here's where our culture has gone. Here's what it used to be like 20 years ago, and here's what it's like today with kids sharing what they like to do in their free time.
When you were a kid, what did you do for fun?
So we go blueberry picking, for instance. Just some cubes. It's true.
We grew watermelons, plantains.
I found an old sign which was big enough for me to sit on, made of great lava. It was very slick, very fast.
I had a few fish in my basket, and I looked up on this bluff, and here's this black bear sitting there watching me. If he starts chasing me, I'm going to keep throwing the fish out of my basket until he's gorged and he won't bother me.
And what did you like to do for fun?
You go door to door, get a group of kids, and we play lots of games, hide and seek, just going up to the field and playing baseball.
And we built these massive forts, the kind that you can actually sit in and play in, with our friends, and it was just really wonderful.
So what do you like to do for fun?
Video games, definitely. I like to go on my phone, text,
favorite thing to do in the world is definitely watching videos and playing video games. Those take up so much of my time.
3 hours or 3 to 4 hours a day. Same.
5 hours straight.
Just last week, I watched 23 episodes of a TV series in less than 4 days.
I forget. I'm in the house. I have parents. I have a sister. I have a dog. Just like grabbing the video game, I completely get lost. I would die if I didn't have my tablet.
Whenever I feel upset, I play video games and I feel normal. It's really wonderful.
When your daughters grow up, your great-great-grandkids, what do you think will happen if this trend continues?
It's scary to think that they'll never have to leave the house.
Cindy grew up doing a lot of the things that I did and enjoyed, and I see what my grandsons are doing today, and it's mind-boggling.
By the time they have kids, it's going to be a really different
I
environment.
actually feel a little sad because I feel like he's missing out on what's out there in the beautiful world.
That special connection with nature, I think it's innate in all children, but needs to be nurtured.
Part of me is wanting to cry when I see that, because our kids are being raised on technology and a majority of it is negative, harmful content. And I know a lot of moms that also, I'm not saying you guys are here, you care, you're aware. I know a lot of moms that use technology as a babysitter as well, and they're just missing, including myself. I want to spend as much time as I can with my kids. So we have to get America back on track, have these kids get their hands dirty out in the ground, hula hoops, roller skates, not pole dancing, Barbies for Christmas, and the other graphic stuff that's being sold on store shelves. It's just a lot going on with our kids. So also I want to just challenge you, if you see something in Walmart, in Kmart, in the stores that are in your area that are nowhere near the morals and message you want to have our kids get involved with, speak up to the store managers, because it's happened so many times before where I get people say, guess what? This graphic poster was on Walmart's wall as soon as you walk in, and one mom just told me recently, I wrote a blog about it, the manager said, I'm so sorry, it is graphic, I want to make sure I pertain to the customers, I'm taking it off the wall. She took it off right in front of her, crumpled it up and threw it out. So you guys, we do have a voice, a matter of us using it. A lot of times we think we can't use it, what can one person do? But a one person can do a lot. And God will keep showing us what to do. And let's not be afraid. Expect some persecution, expect some heat. I get it all the time, but you know what? I'm now excited to see what's going to happen next as a result of heat, because usually the platform that you have that God's given you grows as a result. And there are a lot more people that want modesty and liberty brought back in our country than not. The problem we're having is that the media, majority of it, is not good and doesn't know the Lord, and so our voices aren't heard. But if we each day use our voice, even face to face in our communities, we will change a nation. Hands down, we will change a nation. And I think the last election, with everything that's happened, has really spoken volumes of what's going on in our country. We want a voice and we want to start using it. We just need to know how, and we need to know we're not alone. Next up, the TV shows. I'm going to just skim through these because there's no use to explain what's in all of these because they're basically horrific. When I give a thumbs down, it just means it's bad news, because I want to spend time on the tips and tools at the end. So this is a brand new show that came out in season 7 in July. Vile treatment of women. This is Game of Thrones. Pornography, violence, sex, graphic language. It's just something that we should steer clear from, and yet it's the most downloaded, illegally downloaded show on the net. On the internet, people are downloading it, watching it, a lot of it the younger generation. We've got Lucifer. I do not want to be the person who wrote that title of that TV series to have to face the Lord someday. The fact that you name a show after Lucifer and make him look like a good guy is very scary to me, because young people watching this series feel bad for Lucifer, the way they portray him in this series. He's the good guy. He's the one that gets bad guys off the street. They feel sorry for him. They're mad at God because God kicked him out of heaven. Those are the lines used in this series. Not good. We've got the Mick. I know kids are in the audience. I'm going to show you a quick 30-second clip. This is the best clip out of the 2-minute trailer for this show. It's so vulgar. I'm floored they're even allowed to play it. This is a 6-year-old boy. You're going to see him in this clip actually dressed in a dress and talking about women's body parts. But this is one of the top shows watched on the network today. It will begin season 2 here any day on the networks.
I'll give you $1,000. No, he does not have $1,000. No. Just tell him how bad it is. He burnt his taste buds off. I don't want to be the cool man. I want you to come to me with what problems? The girl problems? I don't assume.
Oh, but Daddy, there's going on up there.
Your sister's gay.
I'm a transformer.
Well, you're a trans. Yeah, sure. Close enough. Look really good in that dress, by the way.
Thanks. It kind of rained on my vagina.
Yeah, maybe don't mention that though.
Clean up.
Where the hell is she? It doesn't take this long to get beers.
2 underage kids portraying a threesome in a bathtub, drinking.
It's not what it looks like. Get out. Yeah.
Hey, where did you go?
He had to step out, but I'm here. You got plenty of bubbles.
So that's the message, and I had to edit out the tame scenes. You can imagine what I had to weave through to get that. Point is, my mom, who lives in Wisconsin, farm woman, she is now the counterculture grandma because she called ABC and started to complain about this network and talk to the head guy. He's a Christian guy and said, we are trying so hard to get this show off the air. The best thing you can do is keep in touch with Counterculture Mom on the Facebook page. I post how we can get involved, who we can call, where to go to get our voices heard. And the other thing is the advertisers of all these shows, if you call the advertisers and tell them you will no longer support their product, you will no longer go to the restaurant, buy whatever it is, they tend to listen to the customer and pull these shows off the air. It does happen. This one's currently in major heat because one of the underage girls in here was doing something illegal and saying words she shouldn't have said for a minor, so now they're in heat. With the whole network in general to get this show off the air because she was doing stuff that was illegal on set. So there are things happening in the works. One of the lowest rated episodes was the last episode of last season, which gives good clue to us that things are in the right direction. People are starting to not watch the junk that's coming out of Hollywood, and I'm hoping Mick gets stripped off the air. This is a cartoon that airs at 6 a.m. when most kids are on TV watching different networks. This is Mr. Pickles on Cartoon Network for Kids. A boy and his satanic dog is what's described in this episode. The 666 symbol. This is right in front of our young kids' faces. Now they're starting to think that this symbol and numbers are cool. It's a major brainwashing. The Strain, another satanic demonic show, it really is. 4th season released on July 16th. Near nudity, simulated sex, bad language, occult undertones. Definitely another one you want to steer clear from. There are so many shows like this now on the network, it blows my mind. Plugged In is a great app that I have on my phone, so you can plug in whatever you're interested in seeing. A TV series, a movie, a new album that came out, whatever it is, check it out, and they will give you ratings without blowing the plot of the story. I go there a lot. Full House. Anyone here remember Full House when it was innocent? Funny episodes. You know, no big deal. If God came back, good chance you'll make it if you're watching that show at the time. You do not want to be watching Fuller House today. I was really disappointed because Candace Cameron was someone I looked up to, but I don't know what heat that she's under personally. I'm praying that she's used for the Lord in that set to make a difference, because by the 13th episode of Fuller House, we had guys kissing guys and women kissing women on Netflix. And I had promoted this show because all of the trailers for this show showed a good quality show that I could now have my kids watch with me that brought back memories from the 80s. Now no longer. We've got Anna Green Gables, a remake on Netflix, Steer Clear, another show once again that I blast out on Counterculture Mom in the newsletters. It's something you do not want to be watching. It's nowhere near what it used to be. It's not a remake, it's depressing. And we've got a suicidal show that's glamorizing and promoting suicide with 13 Reasons Why. Some people argue, hey, at least suicide topic is talked about. I think you can easily talk about it without having to show it. I hope that's not a 5 minutes left because I started at 10:15. So I need an hour and they said I could take it. So if you'd want to double check for me, that would be awesome. Thank you. I'm going to keep cruising because I definitely don't want to lose time. YouTube parodies. You definitely want to steer clear from YouTube parodies because a kid's typing in Disney on their YouTube channel and they are finding parodies with Disney characters innocently stumbling upon this. So if you go to Counterculture Mom and type in whatever subject you want, I have it all categorized. You can dig into whatever category depending on how old your kids are. Just to let you know, I do cover that on my website. TV shows that are positive. We have Fixer Upper, excellent. Designated Survivor, another great show. I hope for season 2, because it's a great show. I hope they keep it clean, because sometimes after season 2 or 3, it gets worse. But I'll be talking about it and keeping you guys current. Blue Bloods, great show to watch. I love Shark Tank. It's excellent. Food Network, awesome programs for our kids. Sportsmanship, leadership, teamwork, clean. Here are the movies coming out. This one comes out tomorrow. You want to run from it. Look at how demonic it looks just with the imagery. Tomorrow it's released, and it is, I should know the name of it, Friend Request. I watched the trailer, and I'm surprised I didn't have a nightmare after watching the trailer. And that was just a 2-minute trailer of the movie. Very graphic, horrific movies that are being pumped out lately. It just came out in theaters last week. We have American Assassin, both very graphic. It is demonic. I mean, you have kids that are beheaded in it, blood, gore, you name it, and they don't leave anything to the imagination. People will be getting major nightmares from watching this content. Violence, death, sex, all promoted. In fact, Plugged In gives them both a 1 plug, which means it's the lowest rating possible for these movies. We even have celebrities saying we know exactly what's going on in film and TV, and it has a major impact on our young kids, the violent type of entertainment. You know what? This guy actually acts in a lot of those type of movies, so I'm hoping Jamie Foxx will start to realize what's coming out when he does his interviews and start to act upon it and pick better movies to act in. Because of Gracia just came out, excellent movie. Watch it. Awesome. I'm glad they have it in the theaters. A lot of time the theaters don't play the good Christian positive movies. A Question of Faith. I started hosting a show called Hollywood Insider back in April. I have different guests on. You can get it through my YouTube channel, through Counterculture Mom website once again. And you'll get this through the newsletter if you sign up for the newsletter. But it comes out next week. It's awesome. We just had Angela White, the producer, on the show, and we talked to her about behind the scenes. These are the kind of movies that the world needs right now, and it will be in over 600 theaters around the country, brought to you by PureFlix. It's a must-see movie. The newsletter will have all the info. Here is a short little clip of A Question of Faith.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil.
What happened to you about texting and driving?
She's fighting for her life. Eric has suffered a traumatic brain injury.
I'm remanding you to the Juvenile Detention Center.
I promise that I will do everything I can to save her son.
One thing me and Tracy have been doing is trusting the Lord, and look where it's gotten us.
I don't want your promises. I want a second opinion, and that's exactly what I intend on getting.
God's hands out, and he's gonna get his justice.
He's no one. You do not need another doctor. You, the whole people, know you can't question his work.
They were men of God, and they were committed to choose a path he chose for us. I don't know what to choose. All of the answers to our suffering can be found in them.
I was so angry with God, I ran away from him. But not today.
Lord, I ask that you send us a blessing.
I am going to run toward God, and I ask all in this house to run with me.
I get chills every time I see the trailer, and I've probably seen it 20 times. That is a life-changing movie. Racial reconciliation takes place, forgiveness, organ donation is covered in this movie. It talks about texting and driving in a very neat way, a very serious but neat way, how they handle the situation of 3 entirely different families colliding through one tragedy that will change your life. Go support PureFlix in this movie in one of the 600 theaters that will be playing this September 29th. Opening weekend is the best weekend to show Hollywood and the world that we want to support godly entertainment. And I'm praying that someday soon Hollywood will open their eyes to what America really wants. We don't want to be leaving a theater where we're suicidal or depressed after seeing a movie or being taught how to kill people in a drive-by. We want God-honoring entertainment. And if we go support these movies, maybe someday Hollywood starts to say, hey, this is the demand, let's start supplying it. And then through that, filmmakers in the process becoming saved as a result. That's the vision I have for America, and I know the time is so short that we need to use every dollar and every blood, sweat, and tear to promote godly things only. And then we're going to see our country change for the better. Friendly family entertainment and movies skyrocket the last 2 decades. Why is Hollywood taking forever to realize this? Don't know, but hey, praise the Lord for places like PureFlix and for other Christian entertainment mediums that are out there right now, production companies shooting positive entertainment, because when I was a kid, Christian stuff was cheesy. Today, I'm like telling everybody, you gotta go see Case for Christ, it will change your life. We have good quality entertainment with amazing actors, amazing writers, and production companies. This chick, Little Black Book, brings back memories. Brittany Murphy, I worked with her on that movie set, and she talked to me for probably close to a half an hour, and to the point where the director had to pull us aside and say, hey, girls, let's break it up, we got a movie to shoot. She had just gotten done shooting 8 Mile, where she promoted drugs and sex in the movie. She said, Tina, I regretted doing scenes like that, but if I don't do them, I feel like I'm not gonna get ahead in the industry. And the pressure was so great on her, afraid she's not gonna work. It opened my eyes to the fact that a lot of celebrities today that we see promoting graphic sex, violence, you name it, suicide movies, a lot of them don't want to be doing the acting that they're doing. They're doing it for cash, fame, and afraid if they don't, they'll be blacklisted in Hollywood. So we have to be praying for the celebrities that are there. I had a chance to meet Brittany. I will never forget when she passed away. I regretted not asking her. When I asked her if she was a believer, she said yes, but I wish I would have asked her, why do you think you're a believer? From here on out, I will be doing that and have been doing that. I pray she's in heaven, but the whole death was very mysterious, and then her husband mysteriously died several months later. Something went on with that family. We've got Kevin and Sam Sorbo. Had a chance to meet them at National Religious Broadcasting Conference down in Florida back in February. It was a fantastic conference. It's going to be in Nashville this next year, end of February, early March. You have to go check out nrb.org. What a great networking conference with a bunch of believers that are in media that I think is critical so we can get the masses to know about who Christ is. And a lot of it is social media, TV, film, you name it. Kevin Sorbo basically said, Hollywood is slowly waking up. There's an audience out there, and the independent film world is well aware of it. You can see that they're filling a void. People are looking for entertainment that can touch them and more of them. So I know that Christian film is having a huge impact in the culture. This is PureFlix. In fact, you can get a link through my email that's probably already in your inbox. If you texted the word pop culture to 44222, you already have it in your inbox. Check when you can. You can click on the guide, download it, and one of them will be a link to get a PureFlix free month. 6,500 different entertainment options. They're constantly loading it with hundreds of more options every single month. I love this company because I don't have to worry about, there might be a 5-minute scene that I don't want my kid to see. Everything has been run through this company. Everything is family friendly and safe. In fact, a lot of it they shoot on their own as well. Also, another place that I like to go to is Common Sense Media. A lot of helpful tips and tools for parents. Once again, this is in your guide. So if you texted, check your email. It'll be a link in your guide. I'm very careful with how I separate stuff so you know exactly what to do. For media reviews, you'll find this in that section. And then I also love to get reviews from Plugged In, another great source. So check your guide for that link. And Movie Guide is also listed. All different sections depending on what kind of layout you want for your family, whatever works. I go there a lot to suggest to parents what to steer clear from and what to cling to. Music that's out there today. Get your seatbelt on for this section. Here's a short little clip of just some of the hundreds of celebrities I've done research on for 20 years that literally say they're either possessed by the devil, they've got an evil spirit living within them, they practice witchcraft or Satanism, they're in an occult. I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind. It's right in front of our face, and a lot of young people today are dinging my phone after high school assembly, middle school. Check out this celebrity. Check out the cover of that album. Check out what Britney Spears wore on her shirt. They are seeing it. People are waking up. Check this out.
What's running Hollywood? I believe it's the same entity running Hollywood that essentially is behind the entire beast system of the world itself, the ultimate enemy of mankind. So without further ado, let's get started. In one of his songs, rapper 50 Cent is quoted as saying, Sell his soul for cheap. Let's make a deal. Sell me your soul. Designer of the devil. I'm Satan's angel. Across the street from Lucifer. In one of Aaron Lewis's songs, he sings, I sold my soul to the devil in L.A. He said, sign your name here on the dotted line. All your songs they will play. British glamour girl, pinup model, and sometimes actress Abby Titmus has admitted in interviews that she sold her soul to the devil. West Coast hip-hop pioneer Alonzo Williams was quoted in an interview saying, Dr. Dre told me he sold his soul to the devil for $1 million. Singer and actress Bette Midler was quoted in an interview saying, I sold my soul. I bought these devil chains. In an interview with singer Billy Ray Cyrus, he was speaking about his daughter Miley Cyrus when he said, my family is under attack by Satan. I'm scared for my daughters. In the song called Reunion by the band Black Sabbath, they sing, I'm paying the price now for selling my soul. I sold my soul. Look into my eyes, you'll see who I am. My name is Lucifer, please take my hand. While promoting his movie Moneyball, actor Brad Pitt was quoted as saying, I could really try on something different for myself. That was Satanism. It's working out really well. I made pacts, that's why. Popular singer and former judge on the TV show The Voice, CeeLo Green, was quoted as saying, I called out to God, but the devil keeps answering. The lead singer of the band Evanescence says, I've come to believe my soul's on the other side. Without a soul, save me from my dark. I sold my soul, don't try to fix it. Lead singer from the band Florence and the Machine sings, and to take your soul, I am damned, so here's to drinks in the dark at the end of my road, and I'm ready to suffer, bound the devil in me. Singer Jewel once said, so you bargain with the devil, there ain't nothing free. During an interview back in 2004, actor and comedian Jim Carrey once said, there ain't no Bibles in Hollywood. I'm pretty hip since I've been worshiping the dark one. Singer and poet Jim Morrison once said, I met the spirit of music. It was an appearance of the devil. I saw Satan. In the mid-60s, singer John Lennon told his friend Tony Sheridan, quote, I've sold my soul to the devil. On more than one occasion, singer Kanye West has flatly stated, I sold my soul to the devil. During the song she was performing at Whitney Houston's funeral, singer Alicia Keys actually said in the song, thank you, Lucifer, for guiding me. In her song, Judas, singer Lady Gaga says, Judas is the demon I cling to. I'm in love with Judas. I am beyond repentance. I want your soul. I swear to Lucifer, I'm Lucifer. In one of Lil Wayne's songs, he raps, sold my soul to the devil. She got the devil in me. I do whatever I want. Hell's angel. Dance with the devil on my shoulder. Love me like Satan. In an interview, Johnny Depp once said, sometimes I feel like I'm possessed with a multitude of demons. During an interview, actor Keanu Reeves once said, I attempt to connect with my muse and go on demon rides. So there you have it. I wanted to give you multiple examples of this to really fill in the blanks. Because many of us have seen these celebrities talking about such things, we've seen the interviews, we've heard the songs, but when you're just hearing it from time to time, or just seeing like one interview at a time, it doesn't really have the same impact until you can have some form of a compilation. Once you see how often people in Hollywood are talking about such things, there's no denying what it is that's actually running that industry. It is a sick system. This is the Hollywood beast system. It is a massive mind control manipulation tool against the people, against us.
So that video is a lot longer than just the 4 minutes he had. I saw you ferociously writing down artists and lyrics. This is for you. I'm going to give this to you if you don't mind coming on up. This is at my table upstairs. It's 3 hours of what you just got a glimpse of, that kind of content. And if you show that to your teens, yeah, go for it. If you show that to your teens, let me tell you something. They are going to have their eyes open and they'll be having their friends over from high school. So get ready for like 40 people over for movie night. And the movie night you can show them is this content and they will have their eyes open. They'll run with it. Why? Because when I was a teenager, I hated being lied to. I want to know the truth. Our teens hate being deceived. When they find out that these people are selling their souls for Satan and that's the option they've got, they will no longer want to follow. I guarantee you. And the other part is, I can't force anyone to make a decision, but we did our job sharing the truth. So no one can say when Christ comes back, which I think is very soon, hey, I didn't know about this information. You got it. Now it's a matter of young people and people in general to choose which path they're going to take. Next up, this is pretty wild to me. Album covers on the left are the ones promoted to our young people in the U.S. Album covers on the right are promoted to Muslims. So they are very careful in their culture on what they allow their kids to see. Look at the difference in the fact that those women are covered up. That was a wild one. Here we've got Marilyn Manson. I don't know if anyone has really understood what we're trying to do to lure people in. Once we've got them, we can give them our message. And the message is what you just currently saw. We have to pray for these people, but not support them. We have Rihanna here that was recently asked in an interview, why do you constantly cover your right eye? Well, because I'm a devil worshiper. These symbols, if you see them on album covers, t-shirts, all over the place, on their tour, that is satanic worship. All those are used in different facets. I have a lot more info on my website for sake of time. But we even had a secular news source, E! News, tweet when they saw Katy Perry Dark Horse performance at the Grammys several years ago. Do we just witness actual witchcraft during Katy Perry's Grammy performance? Yes, you did. And now secular stations are starting to realize it, but the problem is we have millions of kids that now we're exposed to it and following. Here's a 10-second clip on the fact that she says she sold her soul to Satan.
Because I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, but it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
That's a lot longer as well. You can find that on that DVD that I have upstairs, just to give you a glimpse. The rock sign, whenever you guys see it, whenever teens see it, that is basically telling the crowd, hey, we're in charge. The few rule the many. That's what that sign means, power structure. And then we've got this sign that's all over the place. This sign is the Pledge of Allegiance to Satan. When it's given over the eye, it represents the eye of Lucifer. Literally, that's what it means, and you see it all over the place. I'm constantly putting on Counterculture Mom what to watch out for, so you definitely want to hook up with me there at Counterculture Mom Facebook page. This was Drake's last year's album when he released it. It's right in front of our face, 666. Kids are buying it by the millions. We've got all of these different magazines and clothing lines that are promoting 666 right in the clothing. A lot of celebrities are wearing this today. Lucifer, the all-seeing eye, all over this girl's dress. And she's even doing the Lucifer sign with her hand. That means 666 with her fingers. Goat and ram heads are sacred in witchcraft and Satanism. This mockery of Jesus is a satanic symbol and used in Satan worship. And she has the goat head right there on the front of her outfit that she literally used this picture for her tour called I Am. That was the name of her tour. That's a good video. If we have time, I'll go back just because I do want to get to the tips. Madonna mocking Christ wearing the crown of thorns. These guys, I just posted a video that got a bunch of shares this last week, and people are like, ICP, are they even out there anymore? Actually, I think my friend Cecilia, you asked me. I did the research on this group, and believe it or not, they're going on 20 years. They're doing a 20-year anniversary tour. Just kicked it off last night in Minneapolis. Graphic, vulgar, sex-saturated, talking about having sex with dead people. That is in their lyrics, and young kids, sorry for the kids that just joined. Hey, you guys are the world changers. You need to know this information to warn your friends to steer clear from ICP. Pray for them every night, but run from their music, okay? So that's what's going on. Watch a short little clip of ICP and what they actually think about their fans.
Just keep this in mind. They're playing our CDs when you're not home. They're playing my tapes in your own car, in the day. And I'm influencing your children.
I'm glad you're influenced by us. Do you do drugs? Go home and smoke something.
I'm influencing your children.
Listen, if you're ever going to commit a crime, you should do it now because you're still a minor.
And I'm influencing your children. And I'm influencing your children. And I'm influencing your children.
I wish I had another 3 hours just so we could watch this together, because this opened my eyes. I watched this when I was 20. I met the guy who shot this, the producer out in LA. God ordained that meeting when I just stepped foot into Hollywood to show me what it's all about, to warn me ahead of time. This guy is just phenomenal. Joe Schimmel, Good Fight Ministries, excellent, excellent content. You definitely want to get the DVD upstairs. I have a special with all the goodies for $40 that you can grab, and there's a lot in there. Music that's positive, let's balance that out a little bit here. We have Lauren Daigle, Hawk Nelson, many, many other people that are out there on the list that are positive. If you like hip-hop, country. I mean, you got it all. There's a list that you get with the guide by texting pop culture to 44222. Hundreds of bands that you get that it's included in that. To check it out. Colton Dixon there, awesome guy, opened for him 2 years ago. Where do I go? I go to azlyrics.com. That link is also in the guide for you guys to know what's going on. If an album came out, you want to know what the lyrics are about, within seconds you can find out by going to that place. It's also in that guide. Comedians that are out there, a lot of positive comedians. We've got Tim Hawkins, Brad Stein, Michael Joyner, all amazing guys. If I have time, I will come back to Brad Stein. Because of tech issues, they're wanting me to stop, but I want to get my full hour in. Is that okay? Okay, so if I come back, we'll end it with some positive. That'll be a good way to get back there. Video games you want to run from? Tighten the seatbelt. You got it on? Now get ready to tighten it, because this is going to be a shocker. Walking Dead and many other video games today, point blank shootings. You as the gamer are the shooter. You as the gamer can receive oral sex. You as the gamer can actually participate in any kind of sexual activity, for example. The next clip is going to be witness to that. But very graphic, very violent, and this stuff is sold to underage kids. Rules and video game ratings are not applied at stores. You can easily go in as a 10-year-old, buy the video game. Cashier says, have a great day, enjoy the game. Probably says, great game, it's awesome, not know what content's in it. But it's drive-by shootings, sex, threesomes, porn scenes, stripper scenes. You guys, seriously, it is illegal, and yet people are getting away with selling this to our kids. And what's the problem? The problem is our prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until mid-20s. So a young kid playing these video games can become addicted third time seeing a porn image today. That's why the 8-year-old is the age where they were the first time to see pornography in our country today. And kids are all over the place playing these graphically violent video games. I talk about cheat codes in video games. Another thing you definitely want to check out that I share. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, this is the stuff that you see in these video games. I had to put a box around it. Very graphic. The gamer can choose, the excitement level goes up and down depending on how fast and slow you move as the gamer, where the sex takes place, how many people you want to have sex with. You can control the volume, and they leave nothing to the imagination. I wanted to punch my fist in my office wall when I saw this video clip. I actually played it for a couple brief seconds in my pop culture alert. You can sign up for that through the email you just received from me. It blows my mind this stuff is out there, but if we as parents are aware, my job as counterculture mom is to make sure you know about it ahead of time so you know what games are positive, and there are many out there today. And then how to talk to your kids, to have a conversation where there's no argument, but hey mom, I see what you're talking about. This is dangerous stuff, and I explain why in my videos that you can share with your kids. This is one of the top games that was sold over the summer, top game of the summer, that's what it was labeled, Friday the 13th. I'm not going to show you the clip because it's that graphic, but women are killed with axes, they're beheaded, their heads are shoved in toilets and flushed, and they drown. Men are burned alive and screaming insane noises in the ditch, and the kid, as the gamer, is the one that's killing the people. And we wonder why we have school shootings today, violence that's skyrocketing in our culture today. Oliver Stone was in an interview a couple years ago, and I completely disagreed with what he said. He said, we only, as filmmakers, create movies that express the state of our culture today. No, you don't. You're creating the state of our culture today. Pump some positive out there, and let's see what happens as a result. Pump some good movies out there, and let's see if people don't actually help the homeless on the street. Rebuild after a disaster. We're going to see a lot more of what we just saw in Irma and in the Hurricane Harvey. A lot more of that, besides the Mexico City earthquake. We are in the birthing pain process. I'm just going to share my personal belief. When I was 10 years old, Christ said, I'm coming back in your time. You don't want to know what age he gave me. I can just tell you it's right around the corner on how soon he's coming back for his people. The people that truly believe and are living the life according to his word. That's why we have to get out there and make as many people aware as possible about what's going down and expose the lies. Ephesians 5:11 is the verse I've always lived by. Expose the fruitless deeds of darkness. That's what we need to be doing. And I'm telling you, it's the most exciting life to live. I'm willing to take a bullet for what I do. And I might go out like that. I don't believe so, because Christ said he's coming back in my time. But regardless, I'm willing to take a bullet. And I know a lot of young people today are at that point as well, because they're fed up and they want something different in our culture. Roblox, online video game, you definitely want to watch, because pedophiles can directly contact your child. If you have kids that are on Roblox, you want more info, I wrote a whole big blog about it. Just search Roblox in counterculturemom.com. But you definitely want to get rid of Roblox. Not all the games on there are bad. Most of them are good. The problem is they do not allow parents to disconnect the feature of the chat. So within seconds, a pedophile can be talking to your kid. So there's no way to block it. No way to save the chat either. And your kid could be thinking they're innocently talking to a 13-year-old across the street. Let's get together for a video game party on Friday. Sure, no problem. They disappear. The media is not doing nearly enough exposure on how big of a problem this is. This is just one case in point. A young mom lost her son, 15-year-old kid. She warned the cops. They didn't take her serious enough, and her kid literally met another 17-year-old gamer who took his life, and he was murdered. A lot of craziness going on through the chat features of video games. I wish I had 3 hours, like I said, but definitely connect with me on counterculturemom.com. Sign up for my newsletters. You'll get all the info. Get my pop culture alerts. That will save your family. This guy, major director here, Steven Spielberg, says there are a lot of games that I don't have on the premises because I don't want my kids saying, how come dad is playing that and we can't? Some games are so over the top violent, I'm even afraid of playing them. Celebrities shelter their kids. I've been in so many celebrity homes to verify that. I have to get a book written. It's got to happen. Pray I can do it in the next year. I've taken notes. This is just a clear shot to show you guys that 2 kids on the left, those siblings hardly play any video games. They have activity going on in their head, brain cells moving, functioning. The kid on the right is a third kid. There's a documentary I put on my wall on Facebook. That kid plays a ton of video games. No activity. It's literally like the life is sucked out of him. No brain activity. He goes to a camp for 2 weeks, comes back home, his brain lights up like the kids on the left. In a matter of weeks, it can be completely switched around with the neurons in the brain. Wild. Positive video games. Yay, some good news out there. Dirt just came out. It's awesome. Actually, I think it's Dirt 4, Dirt 3, PlayStation 4. You want to check it out. I give 50 video games that are just released in the last couple of years through the guide. You definitely want to check out Pop Culture, no spaces, text it, 244-222. Sexting is a huge issue. Are you guys familiar with sexting? Sending inappropriate images so I can keep cruising. It's a federal crime. A lot of kids are not aware of that. Even the person receiving it can be in deep trouble. I have sexting as a blog on my site as well if you want more information on sexting. Same with cyberbullying and bullying, all on my website. Just type in the subject. I have them actually listed on the right-hand side of my website, counterculturemom.com. You can get a lot of information if you're wanting to know more about cyberbullying and bullying. Social media issues. I talk about them all the time through my pop culture alerts. Snapchat is the one I want to feature today. They just came out with Snap Maps. So you guys familiar with that? We have a couple nods, 2 or 3 people. Basically, if your kids have Snapchat, or any kids in general, which a lot of them do, it's one of the top apps that kids have downloaded on their phones. There are safety features in that app that are not chosen. You have to go in there as a parent and purposely choose to put the safety parameters on there. There's 3 of them. Through my pop culture alerts, if you sign up for that, you can backtrack and get all the pop culture alerts I've ever done, and you'll see the Snap Maps. Make sure the safety features are on there where no one, strangers, can find where your kid is at any moment, because that's what the Snap Maps does. Make sure your kids only have friends chosen, or they completely disengage where no one knows where they are at any time. It's called Ghost. It's a ghost setting. So that's with that. Sign up for my pop culture alerts. Once again, you'll get all that information. This is 1-800-DON'T-CUT for cutting issues. We also have 1-800-SUICIDE if you know of anyone with suicide issues. And you can also text the helpline. All of that is in my guide because there's so many issues that happen. Those are all the consequences our kids have to deal with because of ingesting a negative pop culture today. Suicide, cutting, depression, pregnancy, STDs, all of it. Positive info going in our brain, just like positive food, our bodies can grow and thrive. And we won't be seeing consequences in our kids because that message isn't promoted. Real celebrity news, we have Eminem that said, you know what, I rewrite my lyrics for my own kids to listen to. When he was in his rapping years, he still is a big rapper, but he says being a dad is definitely living a double life. I'm a firm believer in freedom of speech, but once I hit them gates where I live, that's when I'm dad. Taking kids to school, picking them up, teaching them rules, teaching them wrong from right best I can. It's like juggling. And yet at his concerts, his lyrics say, I never knew I'd affect this kid, get him to slit his wrist. The effects, the negative effects of his own music are lyrics to the songs that he sings. And here's what he says about his freedom of speech behind backstage here.
He has the right to remain violent. Anything I say can will be used against him.
That clip is also on this DVD, and it goes a lot more into detail. It's just awesome. Next up, I just want to share the fact, I wonder if I have this. Yes. This is a short little clip of Madonna on The Ellen Show, one of, again, many celebrities admitting they shelter their kids. Listen to the fact that she says her kid does not watch her or hear her perform on stage 90% naked with the vulgar lyrics.
Okay. 12. So excited. That's what 12 is like. Is your mom strict? Is she a good mother?
Yeah, she's a good mother. But yeah.
She's what?
She's a good mother, yes. That's all I have to say. She's very strict.
That is very cool. You're on tour with your mother. She can't be that strict. What about when she flashes herself and stuff? How do you feel about that?
I actually don't see that.
He's underneath the surface busy. Okay, that's best.
So there's the eye-opener. I'm like, wait a second, everybody's laughing, thinking that's great, she's a great parent, and yet I'm thinking, wait a second, you totally showed the hypocritical side of promoting one message to the rest of America's kids dying of STDs, and your kids get to be sheltered? Not cool. So I had to point her out since she didn't represent women well at the last Women's March, with blowing up the White House. Unreal. Okay, we've got Usher. Decide for yourself whether you're ready or not. Virginity is something to be valued. You're not less hip if you're not having sex. A lot of people are under that impression. Don't be pressured into it because you never want to do something that you'll live to regret. His music promotes premarital sex, drugs, alcohol, and yet, let me tell you something, he actually believes in abstinence. Positive role models that are out there. Colton Dixon, I want him on Hollywood Insider. I'm not going to ask him how to become famous and get on American Idol, maybe 1 or 2 questions. I'm going to focus on, you waited to have sex until your wedding night. Tell me how you did it. Because many people follow Colton Dixon. He was like the 3rd runner-up on American Idol. People want and need to know that information. So I'm going to hopefully get him on as a guest. Since I met him, I'm hoping that this will happen in the next 2-3 months. Other amazing celebs out there that love the Lord. Actually, I don't know about Matthew Perry. I can't say that for sure, but he's a cool dude. He turned his $5.8 million mansion in Malibu into a drug rehab facility, let guys off the street in Hollywood in to get help if they're addicted to drugs and alcohol. Why is that not all over the news? It's amazing. Sadie Robertson, all these people, amazing people in all different facets, promoting the positive for our kids. I even wrote a blog about the top 5 celebrities that you want your kid to follow, so check that out. A lot of positive info on there. I waited to have sex until my wedding night. I was 29 years old, 51 weeks, who's counting? But I waited. Was it easy? No, but at the same time, I'm glad I did. The pressure was great, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. Was it perfect dating situations? Not all the time. I made mistakes. But the point is, when I have more time to speak at school assemblies, I dig in deeper of how God used me in that area and why I wanted to remain abstinent. I wore abstinent shirts on set when I was in movies for film and TV for 10 years. I got to witness, share about the Lord to actors, other directors, producers, just because I wore an abstinent shirt. They thought it was hilarious that there's a virgin in LA. I'm like, I'm not the only one. There's a big gang of us living in LA, believe it or not. Come to church with me, and some would. Strategy for parents to wrap it up. Don't throw out the different iPads, iPhones, CDs. What are they going to do? They're going to be getting it again. So explain to them God's word, show them the difference. I'm living it now with having 4 young kids under 8. They realize God's truth. They want to do what pleases the Lord. They come to me if they see something that's inappropriate, something that flashed on a screen, something they heard in the playground. They know how to answer in a kid way, in a God way, to show them the difference, to let kids know. Like I said earlier, Jake was telling people and warning them about certain pop culture celebrities that we needed to pray for because they were promoting the wrong message. So that's the kind of counterculture kids I want to raise. That's what my mission is here on the earth. Set house guidelines, talk about different media together, get to know your child. Through getting my pop culture alerts in the video, it'll be a great teaching tool to sit with your kids 10 minutes a week and say, this is Tina's Counterculture Mom Minute of the Week. Let's watch it. Here's this video game coming out in 10 days or 3 days. We're not going to get this, but I am going to get this for you. What do you think? And get that conversation going with your kids. Maybe even not even say that to begin with. Have them say, what do you think? And then that way when they leave the home, they're not secluded and then they go off the deep end, like my husband's testimony. Trying to commit suicide at 24 years old, taking over 100 Tylenol, and yet he was a missionary kid growing up in Africa with New Tribes Mission, taught scripture every day, but once he was released from the nest, he went crazy. Let's teach our kids the lies that are out there so they can see it for what it is and be a counterculture warrior at a young age. That is what I want to do for you guys and help you through that. All these ways to protect your kids. They earn their time when they're on different media devices. They must ask first. I have a charging station set up, so they're not trying to grab stuff and I don't know where they are. They have to come ask first. They unplug. They set their own timer. When 15 minutes is up, they bring it back to me. They plug back in. All these tips I'll be going into detail on my website and through my alerts. PureFlix, like I said, is a great place to go for positive culture, pop culture, and then check smartphones for apps. I covered all this today in this seminar. Counterculturemom.com, definitely want to connect with me there, and Pop Culture Alerts, Hollywood Insider show that I do every week. Karen, I know you're in the audience today. I wanted to ask if you'd be my guest on my Hollywood Insider show this week. Okay, we'll shoot before you fly out. And also, eye-opening video gallery that's on there. Please show them the video gallery. These are the celebrities that will show you the truth to your kids. That's the Facebook page you want to connect with, Counterculture Mom. Pop Culture to 44222, no spaces, text that. You just follow the prompts, check your email, sign up for my Pop Culture Alerts of the week, and you'll get a lot of tips and tools through that and be alerted before Hollywood releases something. You will be notified, so the power is back in moms and dads' hands around the country where it should have resided from the very beginning. Hollywood doesn't own our kids. MTV's got it wrong. We own our kids, and now it's time to win back the culture for Christ. Show special upstairs, $40. You get a Hollywood Exposed show, live show that's a lot longer than what I shared today. You get this amazing 3-hour DVD. You get 2 fantastic books. I just had Matt McKee on, the author of Parent Chat. He was on Hollywood Insider. The Technology Talk for Every Family. It's so good and it's an easy read. It'll take an hour, and then I just apply the tips and tools right away. Armed and Dangerous. It glows in the dark. Great for teens and young kids. All of my kids have one and they carry it around with them. Of different tips and tools like humility, grief, gossip, giving, fame. I've carried it for 15 years and I'll carry it with until the day I die. It's such a great book. And they can combat whatever lies are out there in pop culture and say, wait a second, I got something on forgiveness. Let me give it to you. And then a dog tag, which I just got designed. I'm so excited. Ephesians 5:11, my favorite verse, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. And these are all included for $40 upstairs. Definitely come check it out, and you'll get all the tips and tools you'll need to start out with the content I presented today. Start a God club in your kids' schools. I explain it on my website. If they have Satan clubs, we can have our God club because of the Equal Access Act passed in the 1980s, 1983. Amazing act that says we can have any club we want on any campus. Public school, Christian school, doesn't matter. We have talents that God gave us to make a difference. Let's use it to grow the kingdom. Let's not let fear stop us in our tracks. This is the most exciting time in history to be here for such a time as this, getting plugged in, doing everything God's called us to do so he can tell us, just like the last speaker, well done, good and faithful servant. I will literally die for the cause. And I know every single one of you too will be in the same boat as myself. He's coming back very, very soon, like a thief in the night. And I want him to be finding me on a stage speaking or talking to my kids on the couch about the lies of the enemy, the deceptions that's out there, and who we need to be praying for in the process. Let's win this country back for Christ. We've learned a lot today. Plug in with me. This is a 1-minute clip to end it all, to tell you exactly in a nutshell what I went through today and encourage you guys walking out these doors. Thank you so much.
To be a survivor in this amazing race with a need for speed, you need God's grace. And if you're desperate like housewives watching Days of Our Lives, you can't cope without hope, and that's not on the soap. If you look into Oprah or Dr. Phil, you can shop nonstop or pop a pill, but the void won't fill and the pain won't kill till you love the one that hung on the hill. Kicking back in your lazy boy easy chair, watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Nah, you're not gonna find it there. No American Idol or Council Tribal has a final answer that'll satisfy you. CSI ain't got a clue. SVU don't know what to do. Not the ER or the OC, nothing on a CD, TV, DVD, or MP3 can save you and me. CNN's got no good news. Here's a headline: you must choose. It's not a simple life, Paris Hilton. It's treading on thin ice, living in sin. You could be an apprentice for Donald Trump or eat Fear Factor fast food from a dump. You could be a heavy hitter, a Wheel of Fortune winner, a Fox News no-spin spinner, or a flat-out sinner. But you better check this life that you're living and make sure your sins are forgiven. I bet you 50 Cent, Elvis Dunn came and went, and eventually every Black-Eyed Peas, Gwen Stefani, P. Diddy, and Britney, every wannabe on MTV with the icy bling, every Dixie chick that sings, they all gotta see the King of Kings. I don't care if you're J-Lo or Leno or Bono. One thing you gotta know, someday you're gonna die, bro. Then where are you gonna go? Hey, I'm not talking some punk junk that's irrelevant like your grandma's church from way back when. It's not some preacher feature on TV and that you need to be liking or listening. The real superstar is Jesus Christ. He's the way, he's the truth and the life. One day he's going to split the sky. He's the brightest light and the highest high. So what I came to say and what I'm telling you is don't buy that stupid stuff they be selling you. It's all designed to fill your head and waste your space until you're dead. Here's the bottom line of my rhyme. Give your life to God while there's still time.
Thank you. CountercultureMom.com. Let's get on this counterculture crusade together. Thank you for your time. I'm excited. Let's get this country back on track. Woo-hoo! Oh, yeah. Thank you.